Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. In today's lecture, I will explain how to read and understand the abstract of research article step by step using a real publication article as an example. This lecture is especially useful for PhD scholars, MS students, MPhil students, and early career researchers who often struggling with reading papers. Before we start, let me briefly explain what an abstract is. An abstract is a short summary of the entire research article. What the study is about, why the study is important, what methods are used, what key results are found, why policy or practical implementations are. If you understand the abstract well, you can understand 70 to 80% of the paper. Now, let us look at the research paper used in today's lecture, Navigating the Nexus, Unraveling Technological Innovation, Economic Growth, Trade Openness, ICT and CO2 emission through symmetric and asymmetric analysis. In Malaysia, rapid economic growth and industrialization, environmental degradation, and carbon emission pose significant challenges. As urbanization continues to rise, there is a growing recognition of the imperative to tackle CO2 emission. Trade openness and globalization drive economic activity, but also highlighting environmental pressure, including emission from transportation and industry. Information communication technology usage shaped by infrastructure and regulations can either improve efficiency or increase energy consumption. The author explained that urbanization is increasing, trade and globalization increase economic activity, but they also increase pollution. ICT can either reduce or increase energy consumption. Now we need to know the purpose of this part. This one part we read. The explain why. To explain why the problem exists and why the study is important. Now we are going to our step 2. Identify the research problem. We were read that one area. Full. Now, the study examined the impact of economic growth, trade openness, technological innovation, and ICT on CO2 emission in Malaysia using both symmetric and asymmetric methods from 1985 to 2021. While many studies have explored environmental degradation, focusing on CO2 emission and ecological footprint indicators, only a limited number of have delved into the combined impact of sustainable e.g. TON, ICT and TIN on Malaysia CO2 emission. They were explaining, although many studies CO2 emission, very few studies, although many studies CO2 emission in some of studies, while many studies have explored the relationship. But on CO2 emission, there are too many few studies. Analyze economic growth, trade openness, and technological innovation together. In this one point, they explained this. This is the area. And focus on Malaysia. The country is Malaysia. They were explained that why this study is new and valuable. In the third step, now we can see what the study aimed to do. The study examined the impact of these variables economic growth, trade openness, technological innovation ICT on emission and from the period of 1985 to 2021. The data period is 1985 to 2021, which means this is a long-term time series analysis. Now in step 4, understand the methodology. After that, the abstract area, the abstract explain the methodology in this one section. Where? Yeah. From this one section. Notably, these studies have often neglecting the utilization of both symmetric and asymmetric methodologies. Hence, this study employed autoregressive distributed lag model ARDL and nonlinear ARDL model means NRDL model approaches to investigate the dynamics effect of studies variables. In this area, the author is uses ARDL and RDL models. This method had to analyze the short-term and long-term effect of symmetric and asymmetric relationship. In methodologies, they will explain that. In this point, author said key learning points. Abstract always tell us what economic or analytical model used. In step 5, focus on the key findings. Now come to the most important part of the abstract, the results. The key findings from the symmetric and demonstration that EGTUN and ICT together take part in the increase of CO2 emission in both short and long run. Particularly, technological innovation plays a significant role in reducing CO2 emission in the short term through the adoption of cleaner technologies. However, the result of the NRDL bond test reveal asymmetric long-term consequences of technological innovation, economic growth, and ICT on CO2 emission. They were explaining the CO2 emission increase in both short term and long term. However, technological innovation helps to reduce emission in the short run, mainly due to cleaner technologies have unequal positive and negative effect on CO2 emission in the long run. The step 6 is policy implications. The study underscores the need for CO2 emission reduction policies in Malaysia, advocating for measures such as incentivizing cleaner technologies and upgrading energy infrastructure. It also recommends implementing carbon pricing mechanisms for production and trade alongside awareness campaigns to foster behavioral changes aimed at reducing emission. The last one part is very important for policymakers and governments. Now I am going to share the most important thing, how to read an abstract in a quick formula. Whenever you read an abstract, follow this simple structure. The first one is, sorry, background. The second one is research gap. The third one is research objective and data. The fourth one is methodology. The fifth one is key results. The sixth one and the last one, policy implications. If if you follow this order, abstract reading become easy and logical. The whole conclusion of this lecture, an abstract is not difficult if you read it systematically. I hope this lecture helps you to understand how to read and analyze the abstract of a research paper. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with other research students. Thank you so much for watching. In the next lecture, I will explain how to read the introduction section of a research paper and identify research questions and hypotheses. Stay connected and see you in the next video. Bye bye.